on live a new Magic Duels video game. So we are going to go ahead, and this time around I'm going to be trying to win actual games against some human opponents using this deck that try is going to be trying to mill the opponent. So there are a few key cards to make that happen. The deck is mostly based on blue and lots of draw cards. So the main win condition for the game is using Sphinx tutelage to mill all the library of our opponent. Uh, this might be not the best time to try to attempt such tactics because with the arrival of the new zombie decks, we might end helping our opponent to fulfill his goals. But anyways, I think that it's still fun to try to accomplish that. There is another winning condition that is going to be supporting the main winning condition through fevered visions, because this is going to be dealing 2 damage to our opponents on each turn. So this sets a interesting clock, and the rest of the deck is trying to draw lots of cards and remove threats. So that's the main way. But there's also some hidden trickeries in the form of Think in the Eyes that counts also as a blocker and a potential board clear. But with the arrival of Eldritch Moon, there are many horror creatures around, so the the usefulness or the power of this effect has been so relatively been lowered. But in an upcoming video, I think that I'm going to try to use a deck that revolves around horror creatures, that to see what can we do with that. And another interesting feature of the deck is also, we can say this is a semi-tempo, semi-board clear in the form of Crash of Tentacles, that is going to return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand. So it can even summon an 8/8 octopus using an alternative cost that is a bit expensive in this deck, because we have to cast another spell before using Crash of Tentacles. So it's not that easy to do here, but regardless, it's a nice idea to have on board. So the rest of the deck is trying to support those winning conditions. So let's try to find some opponent and see how this performs. The current version of the deck, I have been trying, since I have some network connection problems, I tried against the artificial intelligence and did pretty interesting. I think it was fun in the games. Uh, Sometimes the milling happened very fast. Other times you are waiting to find your tutelage, so that might be a problem with the deck. But I've tried the mono blue version of in trying to do the same that this deck is trying to do, but I found that with just blue, the problem that we face is that the milling cards are not enough to get to defeat your opponent fast enough. So we end having to play something else besides. And if you are trying to do something else with only blue cards, you probably don't want to be milling alongside, because that's not the strong point of blue, trying to use creatures or some sort of control in the likes. So to be being able to mill efficiently and effectively requires the support in this deck's case from red. So we are going to try to see what we can do. Here we have uh, our key card in the opening hand, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I click the wrong button, so that's terrible. But anyways, let's this hand is not bad actually. So we are going to start with our tapped land, and this is going to enable favorite visions on turn 3. Now the question is if we want to rush here. Our opponent appears to be playing red, and it could mean a very aggressive deck, so our creatures are kind of hopeless against such a performance. So I think that here Jace, if our opponent has removal for Jace, I don't mind. I prefer it hitting Jace and not my face, and otherwise it becomes a good blocker against the Goblin Arsonist. So let's see. So far we don't actually know if our opponent is going red aggro, or maybe he has another color within also playing. So let's see, Fiery Impetus. This points towards a red deck, maybe. Still, it's so far red. So we are kind of. I think that's one of the best matchups in Magic: red against blue or blue against red. So another Goblin that now we don't have blockers for, but here comes our dear Jace. So these planeswalkers can gain us some valuable tempo by returning creatures to our owner's hand. So let's draw. If our opponent is playing only red, he cannot remove our favorite visions. So we are going to start doing lots of damage. Of course, also we are giving cards to the opponent, so that's not the best for us, but let's see. If we get another land, it will help us a lot. Let's see here. In red with 2 mana, there are many possible ways to do lots and lots of damage to our face. So I expect the opponent to play something quite threatening. Here, 2 1/1 tokens. So far, I guess that the opponent is trying to reduce his hand size, I imagine, because he doesn't want to receive the damage from drawing. Favorite Visions is going to deal 2 damage if the opponent has 4 cards when he draws. So here we got a land but enters the battlefield tapped, so we are going to stop one of the Goblin Arsonists, and let's go ahead with the second Favorite Visions. That is quite good. Now we're going to be doing 2 points of damage on each turn and drawing like mad. So if the game goes long, these 2 cards are helping quite a lot to mill the opponent, but otherwise it can backfire. So this is a hard situation for. It's not a good spot for us. So let's see. Next turn we can drop the Disciple of the Ring, but she's going to be naked because there's no instant or sorcery that we can use to feed her. But it's a 3/4 blocker. Here our opponent has used the Inferno Fist to deal even more damage to our face. So good thing is that it appears that our opponent is having some issues with his mana. So I'm going to use Geist Blood this turn to finish this Goblin. There we go, 1 point of damage, and it takes care of the Inferno Fist that otherwise it could have been sacrificed to deal 2 damage. And now I'm going to drop blockers. The second Fairy Miscreant is going to draw for us, but the important thing at this point is to have 2 bodies to absorb the attacks or some burn spell. It's, it's likely that we are going to see yet another fiery impulse, since our opponent is drawing quite a lot. So imagine a mountain is going to... Oh, surprise! We didn't expect the black. So this is a surprising development. Now we have a very aggressive red opener with black also in play. So the bat has haste and first strike, so it's not very good idea for us to block if we don't need to. So here, what should we do? Okay, I think that there is no need to be too hasty to block here. So we are taking some risk. We are dropping to very low life total, but if the opponent is going to use some pump up over these two, we're going to need our blockers. So let's see now what can we do. So another red source. Alright. Okay, if we use Jace now, we can maybe distract our opponent from attacking our face. We could drop the Disciple of the Ring, but I think, well, yeah. Also, I think that we should drop the Mist Intruder and also the Reckless Scholar, so we have more bodies in play. That is going to force our opponent to do something about all those. And now, next turn, the Favorite Visions are going to deal 4 damage. Well, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation of all the words, sorry, but okay. Someday, I hope I can spell and say the words properly. So, very useful broken concentration we have drawn, but we cannot afford on this turn to play it. So let's see if we survive another turn. And our opponent has decided to leave the game. That is quite revealing. So let's continue playing to see what will have occurred. So another Inferno Fist that can be sacrificed right away, I guess. Let's see what is the development here. Fiery Impulse on our best flyer blocker. Yes, that was expected. But now the Inferno Fist cannot be activated. That's very important. Now, what should we do? I think that we are... Okay, let's see. If we let this damage pass through, our 2 flyers could do 2 points of damage, then 4 from the Favorite Visions, but then what do we do next? Is it can shoot us for the face, so 5 points of damage plus the Inferno Fist is enough to kill us, so we have to block this one, and we are going to prevent the 3 points of damage here. Double block is not going to work because the first strike kills our creatures before our creatures can deal damage. So here we go again. Our opponent is at 6. If we get to survive a little bit more longer, it's going to be quite good. So the broken concentration requires 3 mana, so I think that we can safely drop Mist Intruder, and we also have our Wandering Fumarole to block one of the attackers, just in case. So this turn the best choice is to do nothing else. If well, doing 1 point of extra damage is not going to be enough to finish our opponent, so we better try to stay alive. Ah, 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 ah. Ta-da-da-da. So let's see what happens. We are on the verge of dying, and Exquisite Firecraft is the worst card our opponent could have because we cannot counter. So this time Bladecaster I am not scared of because this is going to have Summon Sickness, and the Artificial Intelligence has no available mana to do anything else here. So let's see. Tap land. Okay, that's fine. If the opponent attacks with this, he dies. So let's see. I'm going to activate this one. That is very important to not to forget to do that before declaring the blockers. So now we are going to block. What to do here? I think. Okay, if we kill the okay, first I'm going to block the bat. I'm going to block one of the goblin arsonists, and okay, no, because if we stay at one, okay, this is better. We are going to be at 1 point of life here. It's very risky, but 1 point of life is not dead, and we could even finish our opponent using the Fumarole and our 2 flyers. So that is the best choice for us, and we can even we can do so many things here. But okay, let's just finish the game. Send all our flyers into attack mode. So also note that the Mist Intruder is helping a bit, tiny bit, using ingest is going to be helping the milling if we got to that point at some match. So actually we milled more ourselves than our opponent this time around, but we survived against a very strange deck that tried to mix some aggressive red creatures and some enchantments, synergistic, so kind of strange deck. Let's try again. Let's try once again. See if we get to mill the opponent this time. Of course, if our opponent is too aggressive, we cannot afford to wait the milling to occur. So depending on what we suspect our opponent is trying to do, we might want to keep or not some special hands. Thinking the ice is the best creature for our opening hand. Of course, if we get many fiery miscreants, they are very nice. So let's hope that the client connects. Then the connection is kind of intermittent lately. I think that maybe I have some problems with from my side, or maybe it's the server. I don't know. In the Steam forums, uh, nobody is reporting similar problems. No one's complaining so far. So join in session. Come on, session, join. Well, um, something that I want to try soon in a new video is to try to make a sealed format using Eldritch Moon booster packs, but it's not exactly sealed because the collection does not work like that. But I'm trying to save some coins to open a lot of Eldritch Moon boosters at the same time. I'm going to try to build a deck using said cards. So I tried to do that before, but the uploading was not good, so I couldn't do the video, and still I don't have the complete Shadows over Innistrad collection. So this hand is actually very good, provided we get another land, but we have a turn 2 Alchemist Vial to draw an extra card if we want to. Otherwise, we can drop the Mist Intruder, and we have two of the tutelage on the hand, and our opponent is again black and red. That's well, we have our third land here, so let's start to pose some aggression against the opponent. This hopefully is going to precipitate him to use his removal on this tiny flyer creature. It's quite powerful because the ingest is very annoying. So our opponent has lifelink gain, and it appears to be playing vampires. That's quite aggressive for us. So if we let the vampire attack next turn, we can drop the Skyline Cascade. So let's see what we draw here before doing anything else. So we are going to receive a countermand. So far, no land. So we attack. We are going to ingest one of the cards. So this goes to 50. The milling has started already. So there's a Goblin Arsonist. Maybe this is not a vampire deck. So we don't have the land that we want yet, and I think that the safe play here is to not hold into this and still drop it. We are missing the does not tap effect, but this allows us to play the Jessian Thief next turn that is going to start drawing unless our opponent can remove her. That is very good. Otherwise, we have to wait another turn to start, and we want to be milling very fast. So if this girl is on play and we drop the tutelage, we start milling right away, provided she connects the attack. Now here comes two points of life gain. That's okay. Now Jace, interesting to have Jace, but it's not time yet to do him. So we are here. Now, big question here. I was thinking to leave this for defense. I guess that's not bad. Now we have two blockers. I want our opponent to play his cards to see what's going on. So far, two vampires. I kind of need to know what is he trying to do. So this kind of seals the deal. This card paying one generic mana lets him sacrifice another creature and deal 1 point of damage to another creature. Here we have the fourth land. So alright, but we cannot still play. So let's mill once again. I want to know what's going on here. So let's see what happens now. A land, so we have no information. So we can drop two of these. That I don't know. It's most likely that our opponent is going to kill the creatures that we drop. So I'm going to start using the Sphinx tutelage. We have countermand available next turn. That is quite good. We can sacrifice the vial to disable one of the blockers for one turn. So if this hound activates the sacrificing of the Goblin Arsonist, that's going to allow him to deal 2 points of damage. That could destroy Jace, so we don't want to just drop it to send him to the sharks just like that. But the argument can be made that we might want our opponent to start sacrificing his creatures. Okay. What do we want to have? I think that at this point I would like to have more lands or some instant to activate the prowess over the Chesian Thief, because that way she's able to attack and trade. So here comes 1 point of damage against this one, I guess. Let's see. Our opponent chooses the sacrifice of the Goblin Arsonist, and the Mist Intruder goes away, and it's gone. So let's see the attack. Let's hope he attacks with all his. Of course, if he does so, alright. We take 4 points of damage. That's pretty nasty. So let's hope we draw into something that we can use to stop the damage. So here the opponent can still activate this to sacrifice the one of these two. So alright. Okay. Let's leave up the mana to either use the countermand or the Wandering Fumarole to stop what's going on. Also, we can sacrifice the vial. So let's see what happens now. We are probably going to need to play the countermand depending on what our opponent is choosing to do. So I'm not too worried about the Malakir Callblade here. Probably we have to check this for follow-ups, because he can use Splinter Bones, but currently with this limited mana there's not many things our opponent can do to the Chesian Thief. So let's see what happens. Okay, here comes the attack. The opponent is doing that. So far so good. Let's try to transform the Wandering Fumarole into a 1/4. Let's see if the opponent is going to activate the Blazing Hellhound. Let's see what happens. No, so we are going to switch. Okay, switch. Not happening. Something strange is going on. Wait. Come on. Activate, please. Switch. There you go. 4-1. Let's see. No. He could have sacrificed one of the vampires to get rid of the land and prevent this guy from dying, I think. But let's see what happens next. Now we are still on our opponent's turn. So far the combat trick helped us, and we see, okay, so now Jace is quite safe to play here. I think the best choice. Okay, he kind of let's play the second Sphinx. This is going to pump up the Chesian Thief. So now we want to attack her. So if our opponent wants to trade, I think that's not a bad outcome. These two, they are going to come here. I imagine maybe not, maybe just one is only this, maybe a pump up, double kill. All right, let's finish the Cold Blade, following by this one here. So this could become large if our opponent is playing something like Fleshwag Marauders and so on and so on. Let's drop the Fairy Miscreant. That actually I'm not sure if it is correct to drop her like that. It can easily be gone, but our opponent has to use something to kill the Miscreant, so that's partially good for us. So here comes a Bloodsucker, a vampire that makes all players lose 2 points of life, and I think that let's prevent if our opponent is offering the trade, I'm going to accept it. Our life total is dropping steadily and the opponent is raising, so we are in trouble, but I think we cannot afford to do something different here. Now we can play the Case Blast, but first let's draw first. We can also play Jace, that's a possibility, but I think that we need to know what is our next card. Here comes Ferret Visions, that's excellent, but still no lands. So do we drop the Jace? He could block once. I think that next turn is better to do that. So Countermand is going to mill for 4 cards if we get to use it. So let's see here before the declaration of attackers, I'm going to stop the flyer, and also the 2/1 is also we don't want to take 5 damage. So let's see. This is I would say that this is even. Let's see what's on the graveyard. Haunted Death that can be cast from the graveyard. Here, yet another Bloodsucker. This is getting very dangerous, and we are going to stop those from attacking. Next turn, Geist Blast lets us end. Ends one. It's going to let us end one of those. Okay, nice. So our opponent has little on board. That's very concerning for us. So we kind of have no choice but to do this. Just because that deals 4 damage to our face. Plus 5 from board. So we were close but not quite there. So very Origins deck has defeated us. So this started too aggressive for our hand, and well, I guess I did the right place. Maybe I should not have blocked at some point. Let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment about the place. Let's try once again. I want to mill one of the humans. Milling the artificial intelligence is kind of easy most of the time. Let's do the final test to see what happens. Actually, as we saw, that black and red deck could have used some of the cards that we placed in the graveyard. So we have to be careful if we are going against some zombie or delirium deck. We might be get punished by trying to mill. One of the most hilarious game that you can have using this deck is going in a mirror match, because both decks are going to mill, but the Sphinx tutelage makes you want to draw a lot. So if you are going against another player that is using the same tactic, both are going to be wanting to draw plenty of cards that is actually helping the milling. So it's kind of funny. There's an interesting race, but my deck is running also some very big creatures. So it has a plant deck to fight against the vampires. So, for instance, Tainted Remedy is going to help you stop the aggression from, at least it stops the life gain from a vampire deck. That's quite good. Here we have double Evolving Wilds, two drops, the Jason Thief, coupled with the Sphinx tutelage. So we are up against a player with blue. That this is going to become quite interesting. Let's hope that our big cards are not countered. So we are going to draw an island. We are not going to need too much red, so we are safe with just one mountain. The deck, of course, is running more red sources just in case, but often we are going to play colorless or blue. Or Jace. So this is looking like the mirror match I was referring to. That's quite interesting. So here, right, let's go ahead with the thing in the eyes. Yes, just in case. Our opponent might have another color besides, and it's going to try to remove in the eyes. Oh, I haven't saw this forest. So blue, green, lots of ramping, lots of huge creatures and pump ups. Jace. The Jace is helping us. So an elf. This elf is producing mana of any color. So we might be facing a what do you say? A Planeswalker's deck. It kind of looks like a Planeswalker's deck, but it is still too soon to know. Our best weapon against Planeswalkers is going to be the Octopus, because we force all the non-land permanents back into the owner's hand. So let's see. This is going to reveal yet another card. I think our opponent is mana screwed. because yes, only 2 lands and still green cards, and so that's interesting. Still, this card is strange, so this might not be about planeswalkers. Maybe it is about awaken blacks. So black, green, and red. Wow. So let's see what our opponent does against this. We're going to draw. Yes, since our opponent runs green, we are risking the tutelage toward the sage that can destroy enchantments. But here, I think that we are going to be able to mill the opponent quite fast, because Jace is actually going to it's going to be helping us, and here red is also in the deck, and this is land fetch. So 4-color deck, maybe 5-color deck. So what's going on? Possibly an awaken deck. I guess. I'm guessing it's about awaken, but kind of greedy to run at least 4 colors. Let's see if there is white there. Alright. So I think that this is a misplay, unless he should have blocked our Chasing Thief and used the activation during combat. So here is the planes. Alright. -2. Yes. That's not strange. So if we drop 2 spells, we can make our Chasing Thief it's going to give her. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to draw 1. Oh no, the misplay. This should be on board first. I hope we don't lose because of that. There is hope. So here comes the tutelage. So alright, languish. Yeah, that's a very curious thing to see. Alright, there you go. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I expected her to process the drawing, but this did not occur. That is most unfortunate. Here comes another Planeswalker. But Nisa is also helping us milling. Look, the library of our opponent is already near half. And Nisa is certainly going to draw a card. So let's okay. The builder, and let's see the path is going to. Yes. That is not surprising. So oh, the new Planeswalker. This is Tamillo. Yes, keep drawing, friend. That's what we want. Alright. Yes, thank you. That is quite useful for us. So we have 5 mana, 6. We are going to make our opponent very sad about all this. So we drop Mountain, we drop Favorite Visions. We're going to draw the vessel, but we want to leave one blue mana open. That's the trickery of the game. It wanted us to play wrong, so we are going to sacrifice, make the opponent discard 3, and we draw 1, so we make him discard plenty of times again. So he's already at 19, and we are going to attack. That, since Tamillo used his +1, this is going to make her draw 1 card again. So that is the milling is happening. I don't longer care if we win or lose the game. I'm happy just for this turn. I'm very happy. Now check that out. 10 cards, 6 cards. We can pick what our opponent had in mind. So here are 2 planeswalkers. Yeah. Wow, good thing this went to the graveyard. Let's hope he doesn't run Grimoire of Mirasa. Another planeswalker, Permanent Outdoors. It's bad, but not too bad. And our opponent decided to leave. So we are going to continue playing until the very bitter end and see if we just get this done. So Nisa, he drew into Soaring. Soaring can be played and of course draw another card, but the Freebird Visions, I think that's not what you want to do. So also Soaring can kill one of these two and gain some life in the process. Also, Jace can use his minus ability to cast any spell in here, so I think that's a problem. He could try to cast Tragic Arrogance using Jace, but he would lose 3 planeswalkers. We will lose one of the enchantments, and at this point is not worth for him, I think. Okay, come on, do it. 1 card. What? But ah, do you have another land there? Let's see. Yes, he had a forest. So what else? We can even activate the Sphinx tutelage and finish the game as it is. So the milling. Oh, sorry. Stop. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh my god. Oh, this deck. Okay, our deck actually helped us in fighting the opponents. Now we have already won. In the next upkeep, oh, here comes the final next upkeep. Our opponent could lose, so we can even play our Fairy Miscreants. We get to draw just to see what comes next. It's a Disciple of the Ring that doesn't currently have any fuel to activate. So, okay, we pass the turn and win. The milling has fulfilled its purpose and I'm very happy about that. Okay, another trigger. That is insane milling going on. I hope you have enjoyed this. So to finish this time, I'm going to open some Shadows over Innistrad booster packs and see what we get. It's almost the end of the collection, so there are no big surprises there. So let's see what happens. Meow. So just to show you, I'm near 9% of the Eldritch Moon collection. So and 90% of Shadows over Innistrad, only 8 booster packs remaining, now 7. But this time we are getting, okay, let's see, it's a Bloodmaw Vampire. I have a income shortly. Sorry, shortly I'm going to showcase a white vampire deck. So this is a good card to add to that deck. My second Hungry Militia Captain, that is a very powerful creature when paired with another human, so token generation. A Militant Inquisitor that depends on equipment. Another Werewolf. This is kind of regular werewolf that is granting trample to all others. That is very powerful, but you have to pay double red and transform the guy to activate that. It's not that easy to accomplish, so it's a decent card, not very good, but very decent. So another spirit, so this lets you gain some life, might be good. And Sinister Concoction, this is good addition for the leading decks and some control, maybe some control deck that also. So I hope you have enjoyed the milling. I surely did. When the mill works, it's very satisfactory. So see you next time. Don't forget to leave your comments and appreciations. And if you have any suggestions, please say so. And sayonara.